Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a little bit of a special video for you guys today. As you guys know, from the time I'm recording this, Overdress is about 2 weeks away from coming to the TCG and 3 weeks away from us getting set 1. And through all my research, looking at other YouTubers' channels, hearing all the things I can on Twitch, looking through Vanguard groups and whatnot, everybody is saying that the worst of the 10 ride lines, the 10 strategies already released for the game is Eugene. Now, if you guys have listened to me talk about Vanguard, you guys know that Eugene is a deck I've decided to play. It's the closest to Kagero, which was my main for the entirety of Cardfight Vanguard. And I personally think the unit has some serious potential. So I decided to do something a little special where I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on potential cards for the deck and what I'm going to be testing once I get my hands on the cards. Maybe this little template will help you guys try out some things to get your build where you feel like it should be. And you guys can obviously let me know some of your ideas down in the comments. If you guys enjoy the video, please drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I do hobby videos every Friday, and I would love some feedback from you guys. But let's jump in. Up first, we got grade zeros. Your starter technically doesn't matter, but if I had to pick one, I would probably go with Sunrise Egg just to mind game my opponent a little bit. If they see Bart, they're obviously gonna know you're playing the Gunners or you're trying to be cute. But if you play Sunrise Egg, most cases they'll think you're playing Overdress, and who knows, maybe they'll call an extra grade 1, and you can start doing stuff right from the get-go. Triggers. I think triggers are going to be interesting. Now, in all the builds I've seen, it's always the same. 8 crit, 4 heal, 1 over, 3 draw. What I am thinking about testing, I'm going to try that trigger lineup, but here's where it gets a little interesting. I'm thinking about running 4 heal, 8 crit, 1 over, and 3 front. The deck can plus pretty hard with Eugene's skill. It can spit out a board without you having to play anything from your hand. Even if you get 3 dudes off of it, that's basically a board. You can do a lot with 3 guys. But the deck has no way of powering up its own rear guards. So I think the front triggers could actually help you get that extra push to break through your opponent's guard. Now, I'm also going to try some mixes. Like, I'm going to try maybe running 7 crit, 2 draw, 3 front, things like that. But I'm really feeling the idea of running 8, 3, 1, and 4. Let me know what you guys think as far as trigger lineups go, but let's move on to grade 1s. Alright, starting off, we're going to talk about Nigel. Nigel is your ride line grade 1. He's obviously going to have 1 copy in your ride deck. I definitely think this card should have 3 more copies in the main deck. Its rear guard skill is just so solid for helping you get combo retirements. When one of your opponent's rear guards is retired during your main phase, you can counter blast one, retire it to retire another one of your opponent's rear guards. It isn't locked into a specific grade, so you can hit any unit with it. You can trigger off any skill. Its orientation doesn't matter, so you could rest it for Eugene's skill, pop a card, then kind of blast one, retire it, pop something else. I mean, you already lost out on the boost or attack anyway, so you might as well get some kind of use out of it. And then you use Eugene's skill to potentially replace it. Solid card. Another card that I'm super excited about is Stealthy Monaco. This card I didn't see get announced. It kind of just, I saw it when I was looking through the wiki. And this card, I think, helps out Eugene's strategy so much. Grade 1, 8k, 5k shield. When your opponent's rear guard is retired during your main phase, cost to retire this unit. Look at the top card of your deck. You may call 1 card from among them to the rear guard. I'm sorry, a unit card. If you do not, put the rest into your soul. Obviously, if you get an order or you don't want to call the card, you just get a soul charge. I think this thing's solid. Again, you can use it for Eugene and then potentially replace it immediately or try to bank on Eugene or get the soul charge. And a big problem with Eugene when it first got revealed is people were kind of confused on how you would build up the soul. Well, here's one way. Obviously, you're gonna run 4 perfect guards. So if you run 4, 4, and 4, that leaves you with potentially 2 grade 1 slots, or other grades depending on how you want to run your build. A couple other grade 1s that I think could make into the deck. Not 100% sure on it. First one is Dragritter Hardy. Grade 1, 6k, which is my real big problem with this card. But when placed, cost Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's back row rear guards and retire it. Not a terrible skill. It is kind of high costed. It's on place and it costs a Counterblast. But it hits any back row rear guard, and you can just off that one Counterblast, you can set off Eugene's Superior Call skill. So it's not terrible. I just don't know if I want to run it. The other one that's potential, but again, I don't really like this card, is Stealth Dragon Tensa Steed. Tensha Stead. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Grade 1, 8k, auto rear guard circle. When the attack that this unit boosted hits, cost Counterblast 1, retire this unit. Choose one of your Vanguard, search your deck for up to 1 card with the same name as that unit, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. Good things about this card, it's on hit pressure. It doesn't have to boost the Vanguard, so you can have it behind a rear guard and still try to get that boost, try to get that hit. It does help with your Persona Ride if you do manage to get the hit. I don't like that it's a Counterblast. This deck doesn't have any counter charge, and just through the grade 1s, we already have 1 card that's a guaranteed Counterblast. There's also going to be one when we get to grade 2s, and you'll see what I mean. But that's it for grade 1s on what I think can make it into this deck. Let's jump into grade 2s. On all the builds I've seen, Randor. The Ride line grade 2, I've seen all the builds I've seen only run 1 copy. I think that's a mistake. I think this card should be at 4. 1 in the Ride deck, 3 in the main. Its Vanguard skill for when you obviously is for when you ride Eugene on top of it. You get to, get another Soul Charge, draw a card. But its second skill is both Vanguard and Rear Guard, so you can use it the turn you ride it, and anytime after that. When this unit attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less Rear Guards, Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 1, gets 5k. We all know this. So you can do it the second turn, because in most cases, unless you're playing some kind of deck that spams out grade 1s and 2s super early, you're going to be able to use it right away, just to get a Soul Charge. But on the Rear Guard, 15Ks means it can hit any Vanguard by itself, and it hits magic numbers with an 8k. I think it's a solid card. A Counterblast it can get pretty pricey, but Eugene doesn't use any Counterblasts, and it's actually really easy to manage your Counterblast when you're playing a bunch of Counterblast 1s. That being said, another grade 2 that could make it into the deck, even though it does cost a Counterblast 2, is Dragritter diebox. When this unit's placed, Counterblast 2, Soul Charge 1, choose one of your points, rear guards, and retire it. It isn't on place. It is a Counterblast 2, which is huge, but it does give you another card in the soul, and its retirement is not limited by grade. It's another one of those that's very meh. If this deck had some sort of counter charge, I would 100% say that card should be in there, but maybe we could try it at 2, just to help, facilitate retires and get Soul Charges. Speaking of Soul Charges, another grade 2 that could actually be really useful in this deck because of the fact that we're Superior Calling so much is Dragritter Zaffer. Originally, I was never going to run this card because when it intercepts, you Soul Blast 1, it gains an extra 5k shield. If we're calling it out of the deck instead of playing it from hand, it's already in position to intercept, and while Soul is our most precious resource, being able to Soul Blast 1 just to get an extra 5k can be pretty dope and can save cards in hand. It has some potential. Bright, Burn, Pure Prayers, the grade 2 order. I definitely think we're going to run at least 2 of it. It gives you an extra 15k to block stuff. All the rest of the grade 2s are kind of bunk after that. None of them really help Eugene in any way. So I personally don't think we should run them. You can maybe get away with these names, man. Alwalith, the Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, retire a grade 2 or greater. But again, that's limited to grade 2 and greater, and it costs a card out of the soul. It is a little bit cheaper than diebox, but it doesn't really help facilitate Eugene as much. Now, for grade 3s, it's obvious what we're going to run. We're going to run 4 Eugenes, 1 for the ride deck, 3 for the main. He's the one we want to stay on. He's the one we want to persona ride with. As far as a backup grade 3, the only one we can really, he's obviously made for was Penetrate Dragon Tribash. Looks like a Tachikaze card, but its effect is rear guard when your Vanguard attacks. If your opponent has 2 less rear guards, put it into your soul, get +1 critical. I don't know how much of this we're going to run. We don't need a flood with grade 3s because of the fact that we have the ride deck. There's only one grade 3 we really care about. But having this on the side, letting Eugene already pumps himself up, so getting an extra crit and an extra card in soul, pretty dope. I'm going to run at least 2. I might use those last 2 slots for more grade 2s or more grade 1s. I got to test it all out. Or maybe if he's good enough, I'll just run 4 and 4. One last thing I almost forgot about, guys. The grade 3 order Sunlight Punishment. Cost, Counter Blast, whatever. Retire that many of your points rear guards. I think this is actually best in Eugene, though blowing out all your Counter Blasts can hurt you in the long run, but it could also win you a game by retiring enough to get a Mass Superior Call. So I would say that we're going to run that card. As for how many, I probably wouldn't go more than 2 just because of how heavy a Counter Blast cost it can potentially be. But those are the things I'm going to be testing. Those are the ideas I have for the deck right now. I really like Eugene. I can definitely see it getting more support and getting crazy. They've already announced that it's going to get support in set 2 because they said they're going to support the current guidelines as well as add new ones. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I hope I hope my idea for these cards helps you guys out. And if you guys want to check me out on social media, those links will be down below. I will be posting gameplay footage as soon as the start decks come out and as soon as the set comes out. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning.